then um, then I'll present myself. Okay.
Okay, good, good, good. You know what is going to be missing with Cine too? LinkedIn.
Then you send a message on LinkedIn to Zini.
I can
No.
handle it.
Okay.
I can handle it. Yeah.
A Denise tá no sente só não pode se apaixonar.
Okay, I will start getting in the people, right?
Okay.
Okay. Don't forget the music.
Turn it on. Off from my city, off to my home. No ceiling when we in our zone. My blood is rushing on. I'm in my zone. Sunshine. I can't stop this.
Imagine a world where I can learn and unlearn, fail and win. Imagine a world that is bringing the future to me. That is ISIC.
ISIC is an opportunity to collaborate with bright young leaders from all over the world and work towards a common goal, which is to create a better world for future generations.
ISIC means for me working not only just for me, but working for a bigger purpose, for something which I'm striving for and which a whole generation of youth strives for.
Hello, everybody. Hello, welcome. Welcome to our last day of this Youth Growth Conference for ISIC in Finland. We are really happy to have you here today. So let me introduce myself. I am Lisette Machado. I am Mexican, and I am the exchange director for ISIC in Finland. And with me right now, I will have Gabrielle, Gabby, the talent manager director, and she will introduce herself in a while, right? So as we have been discussing the previous days about what is ISIC, about what is this organization, what we do, and why do we do what we do. So we understand that we develop the leadership potential of young people by doing this experimental learning, right? Learning by doing. So ISIC is this global platform where you can develop where we can develop their leadership of all the young living in any country that we can have. And we can have some international internships. We have some volunteer opportunities, right? ISIC is a non-governmental and non-for-profit organization and is entirely run by youth for youth, okay? We are present in more than 114 countries and territories. We delivered more than 3,000 experience every year, right? So yes, we're huge, we're big, right? And I would like to let you know something about what happened during this year on ISIC in Finland between the years since July 2020 until June 2021. Okay, we built this culture that we share with all of our members. Okay, we were trying to live with the community when we try to look for comfortable interactions so they can actually make this place the place to be. They can feel comfortable interacting with each other, and also to have this place to explore and experiment, to have this development among the organization. That's what this year has been for us. Okay, to find this culture to have this part on ISIC in Finland in our membership. So for the next year as well, we will continue with this. We want to continue building this culture. We want to continue building our community, to have these comfortable interactions, to explore and develop more, to find new challenges, but also something that we're going to build, something that we want to go through, that we want to build, is to have this talent development, meaning that we want to offer our members the best experience they can have being part of this organization. We want them to have this place to learn, to develop, to unlearn things, and and we also want to have this brand development because we want to be relevant. We want to be ISIC in Finland known in other parties, in other organizations, and also in the universities. That's why we want to increase the university relationships, right? So of course, for that we need a team, right? We need a team. We need people that will take the lead to make ISIC in Finland that place for youth to be. And I am really happy because right now I will introduce the new team, the new group of leaders that will take the lead this year, and they will be leading this organization, and we are going to make this place the place to be. Okay, so let me introduce you to the new team that will be leading next year's ISIC in Finland. So welcome to the team. Welcome, guys. And together, we're going to make Isaac in Finland a place for youth to be.
Thank you, Lisa, for the announcements. Congratulations, everyone that is here. I'm really happy to know, the next MC. I think when we are inside of the organization, we're always helping and always expecting our successors. So congratulations for all the ones that were elected, and especially for the ones that I can see here. So Felipe and Josefina, congratulations. So for those that were not here in the past days, I just wanted to explain a little bit what is the conference. So we are in the Youth Growth Conference. It's all about leadership, of course, because that's what ISEC has the purpose to develop. And especially in this conference, we want to meet new people, we want to live the experience of networking, and we want to all to participate, to develop new skills and also learn new things and challenge yourselves, okay? So that's the main thing for this first conference. Please, Lisa, can you pass? Thank you. So this was the conference journey so far. We are on the last day of the conference. Don't cry, everyone. So the first day was about remote. The future is remote, right? So Alexandra Petrova, she shared a little bit about her experience working remotely and how does this context present itself on the future, right? And how is this it's going to take to the future, right? So, and then on the second day, we had how to step in the Finnish market safely. So we had 10 steps with Saku. He was telling us a little bit about how can we do how can we actually introduce ourselves into the Finnish market? What are the struggles? What are the things that we can adapt on our CV? What is the market present itself? On the third day, so we had Isabella talking a little bit about how leadership is developed through the ISEC way. And today we have volunteering and its benefits with Kari. Please, Lisa, can you pass? Thank you. So just talking a little bit more about the first, second, and third day that we had. So of course, in the first day, we had Alexandra Petrova talking a little bit more about the future is remote. And we also had the Never Have I Ever and roll calls with Isaac and Olu for the bonding activity. And it was amazing. Hannah and Media showed their new roll calls, and it was really, really nice. In the second day, we had step into the Finnish market safely with Saku, and we had our campfire werewolf with Isaac in Helsinki. And for the ones that have been there, you know that Felipe is a liar, okay? And Hannah plays really well. And it was amazing. Thank you, Isaac in Helsinki. And for the third day, so yesterday we had a 3 agenda day, right? We had Isaac Way for non-Isaacers and for the ones that are not EBs with Isabella Saraceni. And we had project management session for the ones that are TM and finance and legality VPs. And we have people management with the network for IGV and marketing. And in the end, we had a session, a bonding session called The Big Question with Zini. And I think it was really nice as well. We had some polemics thrown and we had to disagree and agree with things, and it was really good. Please, Lisa, can you pass? Thank you. So this is the agenda for the 4th day, right? We have our check-in with today, now that we're having the check-in, and we have our volunteering and surprising benefits. We have a launch for this amazing project that is Silta, and we have the Nordic Circle. Can you pass, Lisa, please? Okay, so we'll have today Kari talking a little bit about how volunteering can actually agree in your experiences. How can you agree on your CV or your development of your own skills? What are the things that you can actually be more aware when you have this volunteering experience, and what are the surprises that you can get from actually living this experience? Can you pass, Lisa, please? And we'll have our Silta launching for the ones that have been with us for these last months. with our MC. You know how these were an amazing work from the IGV Commission to actually, and also the LCPs to come up with all the ideas. And Lisa and Felipe, they worked a lot for these to actually deliver these for all of you. Some of the LCs are already running some things, so this is going to be an amazing launch that we're gonna have today. And can you pass, Lisa, please? And today we're going to have our bonding activity with Laura, and it's going to be hosted by the LC of Uvascula, and it's just for the members, okay? So this is exclusively for ISAC members. So if you're not an ISAC members, please, you won't be able to participate. This is something that comes from the culture of ISAC in the Nordic countries. So this is especially for the ones that are now members for ISAC, and it's going to be amazing, okay? And I hope all ISACers join and bring your beverage, okay? Because this is going to be an amazing part for the day. Okay.
All right, guys. So, but just before we start, we want to have an open mic for all of you so you can share your experience so far about this conference. We want you to speak up. We want you to share how you have been feeling with this amazing conference. What were your favorite parts so far? What were the things that you like the most about this conference? So yes, this time is for you guys. So it's open mic for everybody.
Yeah, I've been having this conference feeling despite the online environment, so that's really nice. And that we've had the bonding activities and roll calls and deep conversations and stuff like that. So it's been really nice.
Great, amazing. Thank you for sharing, Hannah.
It's my first. Oh, sorry.
Sorry, Justin, go ahead.
Okay. It's my first conference and also first time that I'm meeting everyone here. And so far, I really have a great experience, like especially during the pandemic, not having really socializing with people, but the bonding activities really helped, and I felt really like included, and yeah, it's like feeling human again.
Yeah, I agree with Justin. At first, I was really worrying about the bonding activity, like how it could happen online, but we actually did have a lot of fun. Looking forward to meeting you guys in real life.
I can say that from my perspective, I've been few conferences before, but well, this is quite different for many reasons. But I'm really happy, and I can say proud of just the new ideas that we tried. Like the new way of doing it, and the people that we brought to talk, and the content that we had, and also about the bond activities, because I actually had fun, and that was really I was laughing a lot every day. So I'm really enjoying having this week with you all. It's been really nice.
From my side, I would like to say that the conference has been very interesting right from the get-go. I haven't been able to participate mainly in the bonding sessions because that time always finds me engaged, like doing some other things that are there before me, but just being able to attend the different sessions with the speakers and all of that, like it's really something good. It's something new to learn. And just being able to also have this virtual conference where all of us get together and learn something new from one another is really something good, because even with whatever is happening around the world, obviously it's always good to have this kind of opportunities, this kind of platforms where people can always come together and connect basing on a common goal. So that's one thing that I would say I really enjoyed about the conference, and I hope that there will be more conferences to come, whether virtual or in person. I hope that this spirit will continue. So yeah, thanks.
Do we have more people that would like to speak or not?
Hey guys, I'm here to say hi. I'm an Isaac alumni and to see what you guys are doing and how you guys are, and excited to hear about from Kari as well. I do want to ask, can alumni come to Nordic Circle?
Yes, because you are an alumni member. Of course you can.
Oh, cool.
Yes, yes. Yes, just to explain to you all, I know that Gabi has already explained, but just to make sure that everyone has paid attention to that. The Nordic Circle is part of the culture of IASEC at the Nordic countries. So all of us, we have this tradition. And when we go for international conferences, for example, we also do all of us together. So Norway, Sweden, Denmark, we all do Nordic circles. And it's only for members because it's part of our tradition. You would definitely understand why, because it wouldn't make sense for you to be part of it if you're not an IASECer. You would not understand it, you would not get it. But even though you cannot join because you're still not a member, I just would like to open here once again the opportunity for you to join and be part of our organization and be with us in the next Nordic Circle that we're going to run. But if you are an alumni and you are here, all of you, you can definitely be part of the Nordic Circle. Okay? So we have already introduced Kari. So Kari Taki, he's already here in the call with us, and he will deliver to us this session about how you should consider volunteering, and he will explain to you all the benefits you can get from this type of activities. Kari, the stage is yours, and thank you very much.
Yeah. I will get to my presentation on my end also open because I have my notes there to get started. But yeah, I can start introducing myself a little bit more. I didn't hear the introduction of at all because I had some technical issues. But yeah, I'm Kari Taki, and yeah, I'm IASEC alumni from how long ago? 10 years ago. I was in IASEC active, a bit over 10 years actually already. I joined IASEC around 2006. And currently I'm working in the software company called Quentic. I'm responsible for Finland marketing. And yeah, came here to share a little bit of my volunteering story. It's IASEC and some other stuff, and also like a little bit how it has benefited me in my career. And yeah, who is controlling the slides? Yeah, my first volunteering experience started in already 2002 when I was in a high school. I joined this kind of sustainable development project, which was the European Union project for the high school students. And it gave me something new. I ended up to go to the, it took me to Netherlands for a few weeks, living in a local family in a high school student's home. And it also brought to my small hometown, near Lappeenranta, near the eastern border of Finland, Portuguese student, and also other of my classmates had guests from my other version. We worked on the sustainable development topics and different kind of aspects. To be honest, I don't even remember exactly what we did, but the experience of meeting high school students around Europe was so exciting for me. But yeah, the real volunteering story started when I went to university. Next slide, please. I joined IASEC. What happened is I was a freshman in the university and was wondering what else I am going to do in the university than study and maybe going to do some parties. So I ended up to the info evening of the IASEC. It looked that it's totally group of nut people dancing and doing funny stuff. But I was also interested in the leadership aspect and the international aspect of the IASEC. So I thought I will let it go. Maybe I join a few events and have some fun for some time. And I joined. It later on woke me up, like what kind of things I do and stuff. And at the end, I ended up staying in IASEC quite a while. And I'm still like, but then, yeah, over 10 years later, I'm still talking to the IASEC event. So yeah, it didn't go as short as I expected it. But next slide, please. My story continued in IASEC, and I did a lot of things there. I was in the board, executive board EP for 2 years. One as a VP talent management and one as a LCP, local committee president. I think that at least the local committee president title still exists, but I think the VP TM has long gone. I don't know how it's called today. But yeah, that was valuable experience on kind of, I learned a lot, how do you run an association, which has been very useful later on, and also about leadership, how to motivate and get people to and excited on the things, projects you do. And back then, a lot of IASEC budget actually came from selling the internship placements to the companies. And we had a lot of different types of technology companies where we had IT trainees, development, basically, or software development places. So I learned also a lot about sales. I did my first cold calling campaigns in IASEC. And later on in my career, of course, for work, I've been doing also sales and such things. But IASEC gave me the first experience and lessons learned, and I had my chance to do my most miserable calls in IASEC, to fail in a safe environment. And also IASEC gave me opportunity to run trainings, facilitate sessions, which is very valuable skills in the work life also. You will be always facilitating things and so on when you work with your team. And also it gave great opportunity for peer learning, and also we had very nice trainers in different events, also from outside of the IASEC and different kind of interns. And what is the most important thing I learned in IASEC, and met probably more people from different countries, different backgrounds than I would have otherwise met. Even just the Finnish people in IASEC were from so different backgrounds because there were so many different universities, different study directions. So it gave expanded my view and understanding of the people very much. And yeah, my networks nowadays covered really anything from school teacher to the business people. And the most probably exciting part of my IASEC story started on the next slide, please. When it came to the international aspect of it, I ended up to the internship to Malaysia. A bit more about it, and also I went a lot of international conferences within Europe. I was in Germany in their local IASEC conference. I went to the Leadership Development Conference in Wales, and for the other leadership conference in Malta. But the internship was the big thing. Without going to IASEC, I would have never taken that internship position, because if I was an engineering student in technical university, and my internship was actually in a hospitality university. So they teach their study programs for hospitality management, tourism, and culinary arts. So what made me to jump there? It's probably mostly the effect of IASEC. I was ready to go out of my comfort zone. to explore the options. So I took the 1-year internship in Malaysia. And next slide, please. So my first year there, I was pretty much doing local sales and marketing to the high school students, the university. In this picture, I'm taking a tour of the high school students around the university campus. Not the typical what the industrial engineering management students usually do in their first job. But after my internship, I was offered a full-time position in the company as a senior executive in international marketing and business development. And this is totally, without ISEC, I would have never landed that kind of position or responsibility in my first job after my graduation. Technically, I was not even graduated when I was offered a job. I had to graduate before I was able to get my proper work permit for Malaysia. I got a lot of responsibility. I was responsible for different markets in the Asian countries, India, Nepal, part of Indonesia, Philippines, and as a completely fresh graduate, and worked there for a couple of years, total 3 years, I think, with internship. I was in Malaysia, but it was very valuable for my career-wise, and afterwards also I never regret that I took an internship a little bit out of my comfort zone or what typically the students at my faculty would have taken. Next slide, please. Then I did in Asia while I was there, I was doing some volunteering outside ISEC also. I was very active in Couchsurfing. I don't know if everybody here knows Couchsurfing. In case you don't know, it's more about that you host fellow backpackers in your place when you are at home, and when you travel, you can be hosted by backpackers. I have done actual Couchsurfing only a few times, but I was actively participating in the Kuala Lumpur community, organizing events there, weekly gatherings and so on. And in Indonesia, I joined one of their projects, which was called in Indonesian Kampung Mulung Tidung, where they clean an island of trash. There is a huge issue of trash from the mainland and island also itself, people throwing it away, and it floats in the sea, and all the beach is full of trash landing there. But biggest benefit there was, again, in the Couchsurfing communities, it's a backpacker basically organization, I would say. It normally doesn't necessarily do that kind of things, but in Asia they do a lot of projects like that also. But it allowed me also to meet people even further out of my bubble than ISECers. ISECers are anyway, my time they were at least predominantly university students. So at least you had some kind of similar background with everybody. But in there I met really people from side to side. Okay, and then next slide, please. Then I came back to Finland, and I was thinking, okay, I'm grown up now, and okay, ISEC is not really a thing, and what should I do? I need the networks and so on. I want to do something which is interesting, where I can learn such things like I did in ISEC. And I found JCI, the adult version of the ISEC. In JCI also I've been 2 years in the executive board of one of the local chapters in Helsinki. And it's a good way to do projects there, as it's entrepreneurial minded people and so on there. Of course, we have members from occupational safety nurse, florists, but a lot of our entrepreneurs or business people. So you get to know people who are quite valuable network, and when you work with them in a project or organizing an event, it's better way to build a network, I would say, than you go in some networking event and you change business cards or you connect in LinkedIn. You really get to know people, and you know who you can trust, what these people can do, how you could maybe sometime have some work with them or project with them. So in JCI, for example, we organized a national conference a few years back. We had whole Clarion Hotel in Helsinki for a conference. That was quite huge effort. And I was thinking back to the time in ISEC, we organized a small conference, not small, but it was national ISEC conference in a school. And now I was organizing, part of the team organizing a conference in one of the big hotels in Helsinki as a volunteer or through the volunteer organization and non-profit organization. I was also running this Enter Business Helsinki project, which we wanted to encourage people to explore the entrepreneurship, and our events got like a huge audiences. On the lower left corner, you can see the one audience of one of our events. There also I got to take part in a project called Christmas Tree. In English, I will say Christmas Tree. Finnish name is Joulupuu. Joulupuu's idea is that there is a volunteers manning stations in the shopping malls, and the companies also are participating by collecting presents, Christmas presents for the kids. These presents will go to the kids who are under social welfare support somehow, and they would probably not get really Christmas presents or not too much Christmas during the Christmas time. We in Helsinki, we collect, I think, near to 10,000 presents every year through that. And in Finland, many more. I don't even remember the total number of presents we collect, Christmas presents. But in overall, this was also something, it's fun. I get to do big things in my work life. I also organize events and stuff, but they are more of the marketing style and much more different setup, and I use external partners and so on to help. But here I get to do it from groundwork, experience it and with fun people, and also have some fun time in the events myself. Same time developing my skills. And next slide. I've been now telling pretty much of my volunteering things in very brief to save some time also to talk about a little bit of benefits. In my opinion, all my volunteering, I can summarize one of the biggest benefits to be breaking your bubbles. Wherever you are born, you live, you work, education, hobbies, all of this creates a social bubble around you. The people around you tend to be somehow similar to you. They are not too far from what you do for your work or what are your interests and so on. But in the volunteer organizations where everybody can join or more wider variety, it pulls, of course, the mindset of people is something to an extent that they want to do volunteer things, but the backgrounds can be very different. I know professional soldiers, florists, and so on very well, which I would have definitely get to know so well without the kind of volunteer work. And it also opens the kind of thinking and understanding of different kind of groups of people. And next slide, please. And what is the second benefit I see in volunteering is that you get chance to learn in a fun way. It's you get experience, like I've been organizing events, doing sales, but it's fun, really fun, and you get to learn by doing. And you get practical experience, especially like I would say those who are students or early in their career. That's a very great way to speed up your getting experience and learning for the professional life. And also during professional life, if you're not planning to stick to the same thing you do, if you change a little bit what you work for, you can get by volunteer work organizations or possibly experience. It's probably the best way to learn. I like to learn by doing much more, but of course, practical reasons have to read and study also time to time. Next slide, please. Yeah. I like this quote a lot. We don't have to engage in grand heroic actions to participate in the process of change. Small acts, when multiplied by millions of people, can transform the world. This is kind of one of the benefits on volunteering. It's not necessarily so direct effect on you, but it's affecting you also if we make the world a better place. I've been always, like, I would say when I was a student and I was in ISEC, there was a lot of talk about making the world better and peace and stuff. And I was laughing at it. I was thinking like, yeah, come on, that's very big talk. But I would say the experience has taught me something like, we don't even realize how much small things we do can change the world. For example, the cleaning the island somewhere in Indonesia, the trash from the shore doesn't really solve the problem. It's just quick batch, you just clean and next morning the trash is back there. But that kind of thing brought more visibility to issue, and the media was interested. There was news articles about it, and more of the people get aware that there's an issue and how bad it is. So more people get involved in the solving the problem and try to find solution and even handling their own trash better. If you would start building modern waste management infrastructure to the country, that would be probably, at least for me at that point, fresh graduate working in my first job, I would have no idea how to start running that kind of project and collecting funds and funding and stuff for that. But I believe that kind of thing made a big difference. Also, same thing with the collecting Christmas presents for kids in need. Practically, it's just Band-Aid to actual issues. You give a Christmas present to children who don't have families or their families have serious issues. It doesn't solve the issues. It gives them a better Christmas. But other thing is that, again, it gets a lot of media attention when we run this Joulupuu event, and more people are aware. Otherwise, I would say in Finland, the people who are living generally good life, most of them would ever know that we have such a many kids in Helsinki, for example, who wouldn't get even Christmas presents. So people know issue, there will be more pressure for the government and so on to solve the issue. And more people start thinking also how we could solve this issue. And what I did in the project, I was just helping there with the logistics. Not much, but the total project, it actually makes big change slowly. And I see that as a benefit. I do good things with a very small kind of own contribution, but as a part of the bigger things. And I've also traveled a lot through the volunteering, and I wonder what would it help if young Finnish guy from Lappeenranta gets into traveling around and meeting people from different parts of the world. What's the benefit of that to the society? I would say that's the core idea of the ISEC already. It's cultural understanding, connecting people from other places. You understand them much better. You lose your prejudice and on the people and their culture or religious backgrounds. And yeah. Next slide, please. Okay, here is some of my personal benefits. What I would say I had from all the volunteering and so on. On the first picture, it's from my wedding. I'm married for an Indonesian lady. I would have never met her if I didn't go for ISEC internship and volunteering couchsurfing. Why? Because I was at my work going for lunch with my friend from couchsurfing, and my wife was with my friend going around the city. So pretty much was interesting story how I met her, and it's kind of ISEC and the couchsurfing volunteering experience contributed that. And second benefit for me, I would say that it comes from the networks created through the ISEC. I'm working as my side job with Pride Indonesia. I'm responsible for Finland, presenting them in Finland. we do a market entry consultation in the Asian countries, for Asian countries, and I'm helping Finnish companies to enter the Southeast Asian countries. And yeah, it's also Isaac alumni who is the founder of the company, and we met once in Isaac conference. I don't remember, was it in Oulu or somewhere, but we met, and he contacted me a bit over a year ago that am I interested, or do I know somebody who could join him to run his business in Finland. Yep. And yeah, next slide. And it would be interesting at this point. I think we have a few minutes left, maybe 5-10 minutes, maybe 5 minutes, I think, from what I had. If somebody wants to share some of their ideas of the benefits, like I had those breaking bubbles, learning, and a better world. If anybody else has idea of the benefits of volunteering on their experience, is there anybody who wants to share? And don't be afraid.
I would like to share.
Yep.
Thank you a lot for your presentation. I could really understand your experiences being an Isaac alumni as well. But for me, one of the benefits that I've had from volunteering specifically in Isaac was that I was able to find my passion, because I was able to try many different kinds of things, many different kinds of roles, and it helped me find what I'm interested in, what I'm passionate about, and also what I'm good in, so what my strengths are. So that's definitely one of the benefits for me that I've had in volunteering.
Yeah, that's also the volunteering gives you opportunity to try a lot of different things, and usually when you are volunteering, you don't have that such a pressure to be not failing something completely. It's completely okay in the volunteering things, because nobody is usually top professional on that. Okay, there's some question. Yep.
Sure. If you don't feel comfortable to speak, you can definitely write in the chat box your question, and we're gonna read for Kara. No worries.
Yeah, of course. I was asking you to share your ideas, but of course, if you have questions, you can also ask them.
I think Romy is writing.
Yeah.
Yeah, while waiting for Romy to write the questions, I can also share my experience. So from just my humble opinion, is kind of volunteering is so different from working in a real workplace. Let's say if you work in corporate world, then people would probably mostly stress on the performance, but because we are volunteering, let's say in Isaac, and then the only thing that would keep someone to stay is that they really feel like they are developing and enjoying doing things. So a lot of discussion will be about how to make people like enjoy doing the work, and for, let's say, people who create the work like experience for some other people, we would actually get to learn people experience and kind of develop a different mindset on, you know, how to engage people differently from real workplace. That is how I think.
Yeah, that's what I believe in the corporate world. Probably a lot of companies could use ISACers experience actually on kind of how to create a culture in a sense which supports the development and things. Yeah. Okay. No,
yeah. Actually, yesterday I was talking about how ISAC develops leadership. Okay, we were discussing the method, and one thing that I have mentioned to them, it's like when you are in a business, like, or work as an employee, when you're working as an employee, not always you're gonna have a leader. It's most likely you're gonna have a manager, because like the manager has the power to fire his or her team members, and usually this is the influence against the employees. So everyone is just tension. There's like this tension all the time. But in ISAC, it's just like if you don't learn how to really lead someone, you know, if you don't really understand how is to motivate someone, how is to empower someone, how is to help someone to develop him or herself, it's most likely you're not going to manage, because the person like doesn't have any obligations or tension related to that, right?
And it's very nice to see nowadays. I would say that many of the especially younger growth companies, when they start growing to the employee numbers, they start building that approach towards their organization, because nobody wants nowadays to build a company as established corporations are, that they are very stiff, very formal, very bureaucratic, and basically your learning opportunities are that you need to take a course somewhere outside and you rather shouldn't fail. But in the younger companies, I think the culture is already turning to that way, and they are even hiring people to kind of build that culture and support it. And even you don't have questions, feel free to connect me with LinkedIn.
We have one question there from Romy. He said, like, actually, he just want to ask you lots of questions because he's from Indonesia, and he is seeing the interesting things like Bright Indonesia and volunteering with Finland too, because they have IASEC in Finland and Indonesian too. So he will text you later on LinkedIn. I have already sent you the link, Romy. You can approach him there if you want to.
I just want to share, because yesterday I was talking with some friends that were in our LC when I was in back my local committee, and two of them, they actually said that their new jobs now, they just got it because of IASEC, like literally because they had no experience before, and then when they were like searching for a job, they got it for IASEC. One guy from marketing, he never worked. He's actually a chemical engineer, but in IASEC he was with marketing. Actually, he was my successor. And also another girl, she was from public relationships, international relationships, and she was working in PD in our LC. And they both got like a job in this new startup just because of our experience. So I guess sometimes what you get after volunteer experience is just like a proper job, totally related to what you were doing before. And I guess IASEC helps in that a lot.
Yeah, that's also like amazing, like how often you pump up in the work life to IASEC alumni. Always you don't know, but when I was doing sales, I learned that if certain people were connected to this person in LinkedIn, I always started opening asking questions, how do you know this person? And I ended up finding out that they were also IASEC alumni from the maybe totally different decade or something, but it's very good conversation opener. Even if you're doing sales, it doesn't necessarily help you to get the deal because there's other things to consider, but it's a good conversation opener for career opportunities, definitely very good.
Just one quick, because I just remember when I had a job in university a few years ago, I went to this interview and I knew I was not qualified for the position, but they called me for the interview and I was like, I remember my mother telling me, "Oh, good luck," and I was like, "They probably made a mistake because I'm not good for that." And then when I got there, the woman that was the boss checklist, she said, "Hey, Felipe, you're not really qualified for the position, but I saw that you had an internship in Ukraine." So I was like, "What the hell? Why did this guy go there?" So I just wanted to talk to you because you did this. And then, as I said, like it was an opening conversation. Just because of that, she called me. And then I told her everything, all that I have done, on all that I wanted to do. And she said, okay, like you're not good enough for this position because you don't have the experience, but I will open another one for you. And then she actually opened like an assistant position for me. And then I got a job. And just because she saw IASEC and she saw exchanges, like, oh, this might be interesting. And then I got it.
I don't have IASEC anymore in my CV, but in the beginning of my career, IASEC actually helped me to build kind of a CV background and get me to the interviews. That's also one thing you can show before you have actual work experience. You can show that you have something. Now, okay, sometimes I might mention IASEC as extracurricular activity, but before it took much more space in my CV.
Yeah, same experience for me, especially like international student in Finland. It would be really hard to get any experience put on the CV. So I was applying for my internship and would just basically put the focus on ISAC activity and actually got interviews fulfilled. So it would be a good start in the really early stage of the career path.
And for last, I just wanted to emphasize on one thing. I think the way I introduce ISAC is just a safe place to fail, and you don't have the same place, for example, in a working place. For example, in an organization such as ISAC, you can replicate any idea, any project. You know, if you want this project to take over in your life after, then you can actually try it in ISAC first. You can actually build something. And then even if you fail, it is fine because, you know, it's still volunteering. It's still, you know, you are still trying to find out your way. And one of the proofs that I had a friend with me in ISAC, and they wanted to open a school. So they actually opened a project related to teaching languages. When the project actually made a buzz in my city, right after 2 years, they opened a languages school, and one is right now one of the very famous in my city. So it can be, you know, a good place to try new things. And so I think that's an add up to the organization somehow.
Do we have someone else that would like to speak or do questions? No? Okay. I think that we can already continue. And also I would like to say really thank you very much for being here. It's always like a huge pleasure for us to have our alumni members with us. Today we have you. We also have Camila that is here. She was part of our MC just in the last year. And it's always a pleasure. And I really like your presentation. So thank you very much in the name of ISAC in Finland.
Always a pleasure to come sharing my experiences. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you very much. Okay, I think we're going to move on. If you click again with the slide. Yes, you all know already from the past days that we are recruiting. So if you feel like, you know, interested in applying and being a member of our organization, feel free to just enroll yourself into this link, and you're going to be approached already at the beginning of the next week. Okay? Can you click it again, please? Okay, so just taking the advantage that we were discussing volunteering and its benefits with all of you, today we would like to start to talk about CILTA. For our members, CILTA perhaps will not be a new, I guess so, or perhaps some of the new members, they don't know yet about the product, but we would like to introduce to you not only the concept and the program that we have created last year, but also the 3 opportunities that we have open right now that any of you could actually take it, okay? So can you switch the slide to me, please? Great. So you know already my name or not. I don't know if you're new here today. My name is Isabella Saraceni. I am the current president of ISAC in Finland for the years 2020 and 2021. And this is Lisa. Lisa is the exchange director in my team, but she also got elected to be the next president of ISAC in Finland for the next year and on. And we are here today to bring to you CILTA. You can switch again. Okay. I just want to start for this thing here because not all of you were in my session yesterday when I was discussing how IASEC develops leadership. So yesterday I introduced to you the IASEC method to develop leadership in youth. And I mentioned to you that basically how we do is we create experiences, we enable experiences that are leadership experiences through either membership or exchanges experiences in order to facilitate the inner and outer journey of leadership, like the idea of going through a practical learning and really learning by doing something in order to develop the leadership qualities that we consider to be the most important ones. So we have empowering others, solution-oriented, and world citizen, and self-aware. These are the 4 leadership skills that we tend to create, to develop in IASEC, that we want to develop in IASEC through our experiences, right? Then I wanted just to bring to you all of these as a recap from yesterday, because as I mentioned, IASEC is here to provide leadership experiences for youth, right? And as I mentioned, we have the membership experience plus the exchanges experiences. But can you click again, please? But when it comes to exchanges, what is important for us is to take into consideration cross-cultural exchanges. It's not like any exchanges. It needs to be cross-cultural exchanges, because these, we believe, that will create the world citizen mindset in our leaders, okay? Click again. And it was from this idea that we, as an international organization, came up with the Global Talent Exchange and the Global Volunteer Exchange. So in IASEC, if you are in IASEC in Indonesia, you can approach them and you can ask them, what kind of opportunities do you have for Global Volunteer or for Global Talent? The difference between them are like this. Global Talent is an international internship that you apply for. So you go through a normal recruitment process with a company that's a partner of IASEC. For example, here in Finland today, we have an open opportunity in Tata Consultancy Services. We have this open opportunity there. They have it with us, and we help them to do the recruitment process within IASEC. You don't need to be a member of IASEC in order to apply to this opportunity. Any young person from 18 to 30 years old can apply to this opportunity. So it's an opportunity for you to go abroad. Remember the cross-cultural exchange? So you go abroad and you're going to do your internship in a company abroad. Global Volunteer, it's a little bit different. You are still going abroad, but it's not for an internship. You are going abroad in order to develop a program that is connected to one of the Sustainable Development Goals of UN. So you're going to help an NGO or a school in order to develop a project related to the SDG. This is how it works more or less. Global Talent, it's a long internship, it's a long exchange, it's a long-term exchange. Global Volunteer, it's a short one. And then, well, as I mentioned, this is the way that we consider to develop leadership inside of the organization. What our members does, for example, Anne, as she was mentioning here, she's the president of IASEC in Helsinki, right? So what does her local committee do along this time? They try to enable this type of exchanges to other people, to other young people. So they are the ones that they go to the companies, they go to the NGOs and to the schools, and they try to negotiate to open the opportunity to bring someone to the country and to have the project. But then we need to consider something now. Click again for me, please. We are in the middle of a pandemic, right? I think that even talking about exchange can sound like as a very huge nightmare, I can imagine. Because it's not safe to be traveling around the globe right now. We have many countries going through some variants of the virus, some very strong variants of the virus. It's really not safe. And when we really need to travel, we try to do that only for those things, like the specific things that are really necessary. So if you take into consideration that we are going through a pandemic since March last year, you may ask yourself, okay, so what IASEC members are doing meanwhile, like if they cannot run exchanges, so what these people were doing there in order to enable leadership experiences for people. Well, click again, please. As I mentioned, we work for developing leadership skills, and solution-oriented is one of our main important leadership qualities. So what we have to do was basically to show resilience, to face the challenge, and to take the risk to adapt. So last year, when we first saw all of us in the middle of the pandemic, we have already approved our planning for the whole year. We have already approved our budget for the whole year, and all of them were considering exchanges, okay? And then out of nowhere, exchanges are not possible anymore. So what we can actually do in order to continue be shaping the world, the better world, helping young people, and continue to develop leadership within our organization. You can click again. That's when we started to think about one thing that we discussed a lot yesterday in the bonding activity, the brain waste splendors that it happens in Finland. So Finland is a country that at least the government is trying really hard to bring more internationals to the country. Right now, Finland really needs more people here. We are missing some talents, some specific talents, some are not so specific, but we really need to try to make the companies to get more international and to connect with the other companies and other countries and etc. And what happens in Finland is every year we have many students that come here, most of them with a scholarship. They get the best education that Finland can provide because, by the way, just to remind all of you, Finland has one of the top 1 educations in the whole world. So they come here, they get a great certificate, graduation or master's, and after all, it's really hard for them to stay in the country because it's really hard for them to get a job in Finland. When we first saw this, we were like, as IASEC, perhaps we can address this somehow. Of course, we cannot do miracles because after all, it's not only the government who needs to run this initiative, but also the companies, they need to embrace this initiative. But we can do our part on this matter as well. And thinking about this problem, we came up with a solution. You can switch the slide, please. That's when we created Silta. Silta is a proposal to work on this matter, on this issue, in the way that we could address the problem. Of course, this will not solve the problem, but this will help the foreigners into this problem. Silta is a program for integrating foreigners into Finnish society. And perhaps you might ask yourself, like, okay, but how do you integrate foreigners into Finnish society with this program? Well, for this, I will ask for Lisa to come to the stage. As I mentioned before, she is the exchange director. She's the sales director. She's the person in charge of leading our teams, our local teams, in order to open these opportunities for foreigners. Lisa, the stage is yours.
Thank you so much, Isabella. And yes, as Isabella mentioned, this project, SILTA, is to have this integration of the foreigners, the internationals that are already living here in Finland to the society, so they can build up their connections, they can start building their own network, and they can take advantage of being here, living in Finland. So, as Isabella mentioned, like we as an organization, we need to take our role in doing all these crises. We need to understand how we can manage to do, how we can develop leadership, how we can still make ISEC relevant in this situation, in this pandemic. And mostly because all the borders were closed, all the everything was stopping. So we really needed to go further. We really needed to create something that we can actually do while the crisis is here, while this pandemic is on. We need to create alternatives to actually create an impact on youth. So we understood that we could work somehow to integrate the foreigners that were already living in Finland into the Finnish society. Okay, so we can turn out our exchange programs, the one that we have before, the one that we have before. We were used to brought people to Finland, outside Finland, to do like the volunteer here, as Isabella mentioned. So what we create is to actually turn these exchange programs that we have into local volunteer programs, okay? Without doing the exchange, having this impact into the society, having this network creation with the volunteers that were already living in Finland. And that's how SILTA was born. That's how we strive to create impact, even though we are going in the middle of the crisis, but we know that our main goal doesn't stop with the crisis. So that's how we came up with the local volunteer projects. So about this project, about what SILTA is about, the volunteers will go to the partner schools, to the partners NGOs, and what they will do is with practical experiences, they will teach the kids about their culture. Okay, they will teach kids about their culture, their language, everything they would like to share about their own culture. So with this, we are striving to break all the stereotypes that we can have between different cultures, so we can accept it more. Okay, with different cultures, with different countries all around the world. And so we can bring more knowledge to the kids, so we can have more understanding and more compassion to the Finnish youth. So they can understand, and they really feel like a global citizen. They can understand what is going on in a global environment, and like going out of the bubble of living in one country and just understanding its own culture, but to actually understand more cultures, to break all these bridges to break all these walls that we have between cultures. And that's how this project is striving for. So the volunteers will be in a direct contact with the partners schools, with the partners NGOs, and the kids, right? Actually, the local volunteers will be led by the schools. They will be actually led by the schools, by the partners, by the NGOs, and they will share the experience with different Finnish communities, with different classrooms, with different groups of kids. Okay, so they get to know more about people. They get to contribute to the education of these kids, and of course, so they can start building their own network as well. Okay, so about this project, about SILTA, as Isabella mentioned, like all of exchanges are focused or are created with the Sustainable Development Goals, right? And this one, it is of course also related to the Sustainable Development Goals. The one that we are striving to get is like quality education, goal number 4, quality education. So how we're going to do this? We are going to provide the young children to ensure early childhood development in an intercultural environment. Okay, so how we're going to make this happen, how we're going to create this intercultural environment to these kids into their education. Okay, so we're going to, the local volunteers will work with children, with the toddlers. They're going to be between ages from 16 to 18, and they will teach them basic foreign languages skills, They will teach them foreign cultures. They will do these practical activities so they can understand more about their culture, more about their country, okay? So they can go a deep understanding about what is going on in the world with these practical activities. And the activities, of course, will be run in a non-formal education method, meaning that, okay, it's not they're going to take the books and read and then, no, it's going to be a non-formal education. It will be practical. It will be fun activities for them to understand and to increase their knowledge about other countries, about other cultures, right? And of course, it will be addressing both the knowledge acquired and the development of the children's views in an intercultural environment. And you know what the best part of it is, that in this case, in this project, you don't need any experience before. You don't need experience. You don't need to be a teacher to be part of this. You don't need to be like a background with kids already. You don't have to have these skills about being a teacher. No, it's not necessary. We don't require experience to be part of this project. Okay, so again, for this project, the project will last for 5 weeks. The first week is an online preparation with Isaac. What is going to happen between in this first week? You are going to get prepared. You're going to start creating the materials that you're going to use with the kids. You're going to do some dry runs. You're going to practice with Isaac so you can be ready for the next 4 weeks. Okay, every week will be a topic that you will deliver to the kids, and you will create a practical experience for them to learn about your country, about your culture, and that's how we're going to have. That's how this is going to happen. It's going to be at the school or at the NGO. Okay, so at the end, it will last only for 5 weeks. The first week is only to preparation that you're going to do along with Isaac, and the rest of the weeks, the 4 weeks, is going to be at the school. You're going to be led by the same school, by the teachers there, and you were going to be like in direct contact with the children. Okay, how we're going to do this is like the local volunteers will go to the school 3 days per week, 4 hours per day. Okay, so only 3 days per week, and each week will be a new topic that will be delivered by the local volunteers to the kids. Okay, and the best part of it is that this project is totally free for volunteers. If you want to sign up to practice to be part of CILTA, if you want to be sharing your culture with the kids, if you want to share your language with these kids, you don't have to pay anything. It's totally free for you. You just need to sign up for this. Okay, so now we're going to present you like this open opportunity that is like the next opportunity that we have. Actually, Miria is here with us, and she's going to be the responsible for this opportunity. Okay, so this opportunity that we have is actually on Pihayoki. I'm sorry if my pronunciation is not adequate, is not correct. I'm sorry for the Finnish people and for the ones that speak Finnish, but yeah, this opportunity is located at Pihayoki. That's why Oulu is going to be the responsible for this. Okay, this is a small town. Okay, we only have 3,000 inhabitants there. Okay, but yeah, the good thing about Pihayoki, the city, is that it offers like plenty of opportunities, like for sporting, for going to the museums, the libraries. Okay, it's like plenty of activities that you can do in this beautiful town. And it is located in 1.5 hours from Oulu. Okay, in the school that the volunteers are going to be practicing, it's Pihayo and Lukio. Okay, so it is of course located at Pihayoki. Okay, these upper secondary schools is really great because the way of teaching or the method that they have for their students is like they look for self-determination, they look for autonomous learning, and really entrepreneurship. It's really a thing here in this school, and it's part of the education of these kids, right? And of course, they have like this emphasis on positive attitudes. They have this entrepreneurial mode of operation, and of course, also of this knowledge and skills. The kids that are studying here, that are going to be part of this project, as I mentioned before, are between the ages from 16 to 18 years. What are going to be the benefits and the characteristics for this project is like we're going to start on April 26th. This is going to be the first week of the preparation with Isaac that we have. And then during the first week of May, then we are going to start the project. Then we're going to start having this interaction with the kids, the volunteers with the kids, okay? And of course, in this case, because you're going to be living there, you're going to be going to this Pijayó and Luquio, okay? So the school is going to provide you an accommodation. You're going to be living there for the 4 weeks. So you can have no problems on going there and transportation. No, you're going to be living there in Pijayoki, and the accommodation is totally free. It's going to be provided by the school. And of course, also the school, it's really great because they're going to give you one meal for every working day that you have. So at the end, you will have 3 meals totally free during your project for each week. Then, okay, so maybe you're asking, okay, this sounds amazing, Lisa. How can I participate? How I can be part of this amazing project? Okay, so first of all, if you are an international student living in Finland and that you want to share your culture, that you want to share your language, that you want to share this space and this time with the kids, okay? If you are between 18 and 30 years old, okay? And well, as I mentioned, willingness to share your culture, to have this willing to break some stereotypes, to be willing to share how amazing and fantastic is your country, is your culture. Okay, if you have the desire to start building your network, okay, so if you have the desire to do some networking, to create contacts with other people, to start knowing more people in Finland, and of course to increase your CV with volunteer experience in Finland. Because as we talked before in the session before with Karri, what were the benefits of actually being a volunteer? What were the benefits that we can get? And we had like a lot of stories saying that, okay, I got my first job because I was a volunteer. So imagine having this volunteer experience in Finland, how much your CV will increase, right? So these are like the benefits that you will get. So these are the things that we're asking for you. And so if you want to join, if you want to register, if you want to be for this part of this amazing project, this is a link here, okay? Join isaacinfinland.com/silta. Okay, if everyone can write it on the chat as well. So yes, just remember, if you are international, you are between 18 and 30, you want to share your culture, you want to start building your network, and you want to start your CV, okay, this is a place for you. This is your place to develop. This is your place to share about your culture, and this is your place to increase your CV with this volunteer experience, guys. Okay, so I don't know if you have like any questions. I don't know if you want to know more about this. By the way, this is also the first project that we have, but during the year, we're going to have some other projects. Right now, we actually have one for fall, also in Helsinki. So yeah, we're going to have different projects throughout the year. But right now, this is going to be the first one that is going to be on Pihajoki for the next month.
Do we have any questions related to this project or about these opportunities that are open that you would like to do now? Okay, I will get this as a no. Now I'm gonna actually ask Frazini to kindly come to the virtual stage because he also has an opportunity to share with all of you.
Yes, thank you very much, Isabella. So this will be also very quick, okay? So we are also launching an opportunity with TCS. So I think that Lisa was talking about Silta as a project, but we have also the product that Isabella talked to you about, which is the IGT, the Incoming Global Talent, okay? That actually requires exchange, requires you actually to go to the country. However, as Finland is international territory and country, and also for the Finnish people, we are actually opening an opportunity with TCS for the support specialist. Okay, this actually opportunity is open for all the people that they studied something similar to IT or the software development or anything related to computer science. Of course, it has a salary of 2,800 euros. Okay, and it has also more benefits. I'm not going to tell you all about it because you will have the link actually, and then you can check it yourself. So also it is open for internationals and Finnish people as well. Finnish is not a requirement, okay? So you don't have to, you know, to be, how to say, anxious about it, okay? You just need English, and you are gonna train actually associates related to project launching and everything, okay? So go check the requirements, we are actually gonna promote this on our LinkedIn, so just throw an eye on our LinkedIn, okay? Stay tuned. If you feel like this opportunity is yours and you need to jump of it, so it is definitely yours, okay? This week we are gonna launch it on our LinkedIn. You're gonna find the link there. You can actually apply for it, and you know, more opportunities are actually gonna open, so be open. So just stay tuned also with us on social media. Yeah, so this is everything from my part. Thank you very much, Isabella.
Thank you very much, Zeni. So we have came up until the end of our conference, at least for this part. I really would like to say thank you very much for all of you that stayed here with all of us until the end. We have some externals that we already kind of consider as part of our organizations because they were here all the days with us, even like having fun with us in the bonding activities. They know who I'm talking about. So thank you very much. This conferences that IASEC does, it's not actually just because of the pandemic. We usually do this very often. So you can connect with our LinkedIn or with us on LinkedIn as well, and just keep heads up because it might be that you're going to hear about us or about the new conference very soon. Okay? Thank you very much. And before leaving, I just would like to ask you for feedback. Please, let us know all the things that you think that we should consider for the next conference. Everything that you would like to say, we will take it really serious. So I will play a song and then give you a couple minutes to answer it. And for the IASEC members or IASEC alumni, if you want to stay for the Nordic Circles, we're going to start it just after the feedback, okay?
It might seem crazy what